It is now my pleasure to introduce our guest speaker for today, Kat Congdon. Reverend Kat Congdon is a resident of Lilydale and is the office manager for Fellowships of the Spirit. Some of you will recognize her as Skipper's mom. We all recognize her. And Skipper's pictures, gorgeous. Kat is a graduate and ordained minister of the Fellowships of the Spirit. She is vice president of the City of Light Spiritualist Church and a member of the Church of Living Spirit. Kat has been a medium all her life, communicating with spirit at an early age, but did not pursue her natural gifts for mediumship and healing until adulthood. She spent most of her business career working with Fannie Mae and community development for the underserved neighborhoods. Kat has a degree in multimedia marketing, is certified in family herbalism and natural herbalism from the School of Natural Healing in Utah, and enjoys her hydroponic gardens year-round. And I like to watch them and see the lights when I walk by there. And she remembered she was speaking today. So that's great news.
We're starting off with a win.
We're starting off with a win-win. So without further ado, thank you for being here, Kat Congdon.
I remembered something. It's so good to start on that happy note. Usually I walk into a room and I don't know why I'm there. So. Good morning. Today I want to talk a little bit about balance and grounding. It might seem like a weird holiday message, but especially at this time of year when things seem crazy, emotions are running high, and routines are really thrown to the wind right now. So what is being grounded? Everybody talks about being grounded. Well, being grounded is to be present and aware in the moment and having a strong connection to reality and feeling emotionally stable. And it's often associated with a sense of inner calm and stability. And it's without being caught up in the worries of future or past mistakes, which is a part I think we all tend to forget. We all hear enough about balance too. I really don't have to talk about what that is. We all hear about home-life balance, life-work balance, homework balance, all of that involved. And what balance is a juggling act. It's how do we make all those pieces of who we are and what our lives are about work together instead of pulling apart from each other. I was sleepless one night, which is not out of the ordinary, and I came across a movie which many of you probably saw. It was called Eat, Pray, Love with Julia Roberts. I never saw it before, okay? So it kind of like, when you're streaming and whatever was going on in the background, a new one starts. So I just was like, okay, I'll watch it. It was a very fascinating movie. In the movie, Julia Roberts wants to get closer to God. And what made me think is, can grounding and balance help us do that? Maybe Julia Roberts' character just wanted to ask about her romantic relationships initially, but Spirit knows better. For those who have not seen the movie, or if you may have forgotten the beginning of the movie, she seeks out a medicine man. And this wise man says to her, keep grounded, so it's like you have 4 legs. That way you can stay in the world. Also, no looking at the world through your head. Look through your heart instead. That way you will know God. Which is why you came here, no? Well, if we think about it, it's why we all came here. Okay, here to this earth, here to this plane, here to these bodies, here to this life. We are all here constantly seeking God. We're constantly looking for Spirit and meaning from Spirit. But how do we stay grounded while we're doing that? Like we have 4 legs. How do you stay grounded like you have 4 legs? I pictured a table. We're a table. Okay? Picture yourself as a table. And you're a table with 2 legs. You're gonna go right down. There's no such thing as a table with two legs, right? Yeah. It's impossible. Okay, so you're not able to even stand on your own. The closest thing to a table with two legs is a baby. That's about the closest thing, a newborn infant, that's it. After that, you've gotta have at least three, right? And a three-legged table, I know a lot of three-legged tables. I used to be a three-legged table, okay? And they're not that sturdy. If one leg fails, the whole thing comes down, collapses. There's no give. And it doesn't take too much to knock a three-legged table over. I'm a plant lady. I have three-legged plant stands and I have four-legged plant stands. I do not buy three-legged ones anymore. Believe me, I've repotted enough broken plants to know that, okay? So a three-legged table needs incredible balance in order to hold what it has to hold. And there's no give there. I mean, it's gonna wobble and it's gonna fall down and things are gonna break. So that's why we have four legs of a table. That bears more weight, it holds up, it's sturdier. So what are these four legs that we have to have? Well, the first leg we have to have, without a doubt, is a physical leg. The first leg being physical, remember we are temples. You've heard this before in all different churches, all different things. We are temples. We're the temple, our bodies, our physical bodies hold the soul, our spirit, God is in us. We say that all the time. We're the temple of God. No matter what stage we are in our lives, we need to respect and care for our bodies. This is probably the most neglected leg. We push our limits. We help others and take on obligations, put off our self-care. Then every time we go to church or healing temple, we say the healing prayer, and I will do my part, but we don't. So physically grounded, to be physically grounded and have that leg grounded means you have to take action. It's not something, this is not a leg that builds itself. This is when you have to take action. Maybe it's a change of location, a walk in nature, a special treat, time alone, exercise, or rethinking your diet. Or maybe it's as simple as not blowing off your annual physical because you don't have enough time. Make the time, okay? The second leg. This leg is a given. It's the spiritual leg. We are, after all, spiritual beings in these earthly bodies, right? So it would make sense that one leg would be spiritual. But the problem is our spiritual well can run dry, and it will. Don't ever think that you have so much in you that you're not going to run dry, because there's an end. No matter how deep the well, there's a bottom to it. This leg is the leg that needs fed. You have to feed this leg. And it's important to feed the spiritual leg to keep ourselves able to bear weight for all the things that get dumped on our table. Although its appetite is huge, its tastes are simple. As a matter of fact, you're feeding your spiritual legs right now. Going to church services, reading, praying, healing, singing, giving, loving, sharing, all those things will feed your spiritual legs. That's what makes this spiritual leg magical. It can give its strength to all the other legs when they need it. And that's an amazing thing, that's magic. So this leg never will totally fail as long as you feed it. The third leg is your mental and emotional well-being. Mental well-being refers to, in what I'm speaking of, a positive state. It's emotional stability. Having the ability to manage emotions effectively, to be able to cope with stress, and how to maintain a sense of balance, again balance, and a sense of purpose, or staying focused. It is characterized by a sense of contentment, happiness, a freedom from fear. If you are experiencing discontent, unhappiness, if you're walking or living or thinking in fear, okay, this is hurting you. This is hurting your mental and emotional well-being. I'm not talking about mental illness. Mental illness is a very serious topic, and that's not what I'm talking about here. The absence of mental illness, though, does not equate to well-being. Okay, it's not the same thing. Okay, so that leg is a leg that you have to work on, and it is basically different for everyone, that type of feeling and that type of ability, and that is something that leg is very important. The fourth leg is community. We can get by very well, thank you, as a three-legged table. I just told you I could get by. I have some plant stands like that, and one by one they get replaced. But we might be getting by just fine three-legged because we're not bearing a lot of weight, right? You know, you don't have anything on the table. It's not bearing a lot of weight. It stays out of the comings and goings. It's not going to get knocked. I mean, you can have your nice, safe little three-legged table, but there will come a time if one of those legs weakens. A stressful situation, maybe a breakup, a friend's passing, an illness, life basically, okay? And just, that will leave you in a situation having just two legs. When that breaks, you're just going to have the two legs. So, when we break the three-legged table and it falls, we can't 100% of the time. At any time can we never be 100% on all our legs. That is why the community leg, the fourth leg, is so important. The community leg, it helps us stay in the world. It helps hold us up when our other legs break. When our other legs are weakened or broken, the community leg will step in and bolster those legs and help fix them. That way you can invite others to your table. I just want to say, lastly, I need to talk about something else that was in the movie. And when he said there's no looking at the world through your head. These are crazy times. Right now, the world is full of extremes. It's hard to tell who people are. People we think we know, we realize we may not know who they were. People say one thing and they do another. That's apparent everywhere. The world is in complete upheaval. There is so much upheaval in the world right now. I mean, I can't even think of a place that's really you'd feel safe going to sometimes because everything is in such a jumble. You don't know where to go. If we look through our head and we try to make sense with this, it won't work. Logic won't work when everything is illogical. We lose vision, we lose hope, we lose understanding. We can't fix or begin to understand this crazy world with reason because it's not reasonable. So our heads are not a tool for this. That's why we have to look in our hearts. Our hearts will offer us a different perspective when we look at the world through them. We are coming from a different space when we look through our hearts. It's a peaceful space which will soothe our souls. And lastly, before I end, the title of the movie really spoke to me too. Eat, pray, love. Eat, we all know this in Lilydale, the food around here, but feeding our earthly bodies. Okay? Feeding our life. Pray, feeding our spiritual bodies. And love. That's the most important one. That's the most important thing is love for ourselves. and for the community. And spiritualism, this is what it's all about. It's really that simple. I wish you many blessings and much love for the holiday and the new year, whatever you celebrate. I love you all. Thank you for allowing me to speak today.